Wednesday morning's class in the same way, with about 10 minutes of gentle warm-ups. I believe that getting the chi flowing helps us to meditate more easily. And so I think it's very useful. If you're someone who is struggling physically, then you could always, and you're watching the video, you could always just fast forward 10 minutes or wait until we begin. But if you can take part in a small way in these exercises, that's also a good idea. So for instance, when I say, turn and look back over your shoulder, you might only turn a tiny bit. You might make the smallest of movements, but making a little movement is better than no movement at all. And so try to move a little bit while doing these exercises. And otherwise, if you're feeling fit and healthy, follow me as best you can. Okay, so we stand with our feet at shoulder width, with the knees gently bent, with the back nice and straight. The arms just hang down by the sides, by the seam of your trousers. We soften the knees and we just gently tuck the tailbone slightly forward. And then from this posture here, we bring our minds to our bellies, deep inside, behind the belly button, into the very core of your body. And that's where we make this turn from. We imagine the core turning and the body gently responding. So just turn softly and look over one of your shoulders and just see how your spine feels today. And then come back to the front, do the same for the other side. Gently. One way, and then gently the other way. And if everything feels okay, if your back feels reasonably flexible, then we can just release the waist and allow the exercise to gently begin. So I must say that over the last few weeks, we've been doing what's called a 𝐜𝐥𝐸 meditation. But unfortunately, the various noise suppression tools that are built into Zoom have been rather making the audio difficult. It's been quite quiet, and I'm sorry for that. It sort of tries to suppress noises it doesn't understand. And so if I'm making a tone rather than a word, it kind of cuts it out or lowers it because it thinks like it's a rumble of a lorry or something like a plane going overhead. So it sort of presses the noise. So when I try and say, it hears that and sort of starts to cut it out because it thinks I don't know what that is. And so I'm looking at various different other technologies to see if I can improve it. We'll try and work our way through. I'll try and remember to make the tones reasonably short and reasonably loud so that it doesn't have too much time to cut the tone off. And if it does cut the tone off, then you'll be able to know what I'm aiming for, what we're trying to do. So we'll see where we go today with this meditation. But the idea is that we just lose ourselves as much as we can in our silence. So I've been reading Dr. Pang's book about the heart, and a lot of what he talks about is the nature of the conscious mind. So I wanted to share an idea with you that something that's been something I've discovered myself over a period of time. I first kind of stumbled upon it when I was meditating with my teachers I think it was on one of our retreats in Scotland about 15, 20 years ago, 15 years ago maybe. And I can only describe the sensation of going into a deep state and being able to feel the chi of my brain change. So that's a peculiar idea, and it's not something I'd ever really thought about. I felt it, and I thought, goodness, that's interesting. And if you could see out of my window today, you'd have a perfect analogy. I live on the coast, and the mornings here can often be very foggy. There's a kind of a bank of fog that sits on the coastline, and I'm about, 800 meters away from the coastline, and I can see the bank of fog, but I'm not in it. And occasionally it comes over here and it sort of rolls a bit my way, but more often than not, I just see the bank of fog, and I don't have to. Don't have to be in it. The analogy works really well for my story about how it felt that time in Samiling, the first time I experienced it. And I was sitting there trying my hardest to get into a meditative state. And then somehow something started to change. I suddenly felt this bank of fog rolling through my brain. Very interesting. I can't really describe it any other way. But Dr. Pang talks about this very high essence in your brain. And he calls it 𝐸1T. So he says that the highest vibration of the universe is called 𝐸𝐴𝐸, and that this 𝐸𝐴𝐸 matches the highest vibration of human chi. And so essentially when we're meditating, what we're attempting to do is to bring our vibration of our brains to the same vibration of the universe, to hit the highest frequency possible so that we can connect ourselves to the pure flow of the universe. And so the suggestion is that we're raising our vibration. I've got no idea because everybody likes to think of the idea that we can raise our vibration sufficiently. But actually, it may also be lowering our vibration. I've got no idea which is correct. What frequency is actually the frequency of the universe? So, I think we use as the default raising our vibration to the vibration of the universe. Just because it sounds nicer. We imagine heaven and we imagine high vibration being good. But actually, I think high vibration is kind of, very high frequency buzzing. I'm not quite sure that's right. Maybe we ought to be thinking about lowering our vibration to the vibration of the universe. If you want to understand the nature of the universe, first look at matter and vibration, says, lost his name, great scientist. But anyway, vibration is the place to look. And so we use our voice boxes to vibrate our bodies. That's one thing. But in meditation, we apparently try to raise our vibration, let's just say, to match the frequency of the universe. And this internal chi is known as 𝐸1T. E, I think, is about mind. Yuan is one. And T, I'm not quite sure. I can't remember how 𝐸1T translates, but it's about the highest possible mind. So Dr. Pang talks about this, finding this 𝐸1T space and connecting with it, using it as our connection to the universe. So 𝐸1T has both the function of being a connector, but it also is a thing. And he talks about it in his book. He talks about it and he calls it essence. And essence is there throughout Buddhism and Confucianism. We hear them talk about essence. And so my experience in Scotland was that I actually experienced essence. I was able to feel my brain as if this fog bank were gently rolling through it. And I could feel the change of the quality of my brain. So I don't know if that's of any help to anybody, but it was, it's something that I can do now. It's something that I can experience now. I can actually find that essence, connect with it, and allow it to roll through my brain like a fog bank. And the nature of that is that, or the result of that is that when this kind of essence seeps through my brain, it sounds sort of weird, but when this essence slowly kind of takes over my brain, it means that the brain is no longer functioning on the same level. Oh, I just suddenly thought maybe it's like almost like a self anesthetic. I mean, when they anesthetize you for an operation, it's so quick you don't know. I've only ever had it once when I had my teeth removed, not all of them. Although, blessed, my grandmother, she had all of her teeth removed because she didn't want to pay dentist bills. What a strange thing they used to do 100 years ago. But yes, so, sorry, lost my place. Yes, anesthetic. We don't really sort of get to feel the anesthetic. There's that moment where your anaesthetist says, count backwards from 10. You say, 8, 7, 6, and you're gone. You can feel yourself sort of disappearing at that moment. And, coming back from an anesthetic is a very strange experience, isn't it? When you sort of feel a bit wobbly and unsure and you're slowly gathering yourself together. Well, I suppose there must be some essence of that involved in finding your internal essence, because we have so much thought going on in our brains and so much dialogue happening that we have to find a way to slow that down. And I think that if we can get in contact with the idea of E1T, this essence of the brain, that we can actually use that to anesthetize our brain. And that when we anesthetize our brain, the thinking slows down, stops, disappears into the background, and we find ourselves in this very steady meditative state. So hopefully that works as a pointer for you. Not always, these things don't always work for everybody, but I just thought, yeah, if I mention that, perhaps it might be useful for someone. You may be able to access that idea. And in fact, perhaps I'll try and guide you to that, today, see if we can find a way of imagining that. So let this whole exercise gently stop. And okay, let's just gather ourselves first, and I'll finish that last thought. Lift up some chi, and then gently pour the chi down through your body. This is taking balance from the head into the chest, back, deep into the belly where we've just been working, and then releasing the hands, and the chi naturally flows. So gently lift up, gently gather. This is very good for relaxing and balancing and calming oneself. So if this first exercise made you feel a little bit lightheaded, a little bit dizzy, this will help you just to kind of gently bring yourself back into your body. Bring yourself back deep into your belly where we really reside, and then let the hands relax and the chi just flows naturally in the legs. Do that again. Lift up and pull down. Draw down. Focus deep into the belly. Okay, if you still feel lightheaded, do that a few more times. Just to finish off my final thought there about leading you into no, apparently that final thought is finished. If something else pops up, I'll let you know. Okay, so I couple these gentle turns of the waist with some easy forward bends and some easy side bends. And then we finish our physical warm-up and we move on to our brain work. So in exactly the same posture, we're just going to lift the hands up a bit. And we'll do some forward and back bends. Gently stretch up into the blue sky. Okay, so we let the knees and the hips softly drift forward. And you can just gently lean back and open the front of your body up. And then come up straight. Gently lean back and come up straight. Gently back and up. Once more. Back. Stretching the front of the body and up. Okay. So now we're going to do some forward bends. You'll notice that my arms aren't pressed against my ears. My arms are, there's a nice, gentle, relaxed shoulder in between my arm and my ear. But we do try and coordinate the arms and the ears. So just bend over the arms and the ears at the same speed, and that just bends the nape of your neck. And then we start to bend into the upper back. Then we start to bend into the middle back. We gradually bend into the lower back, and just let the body hang down to wherever it naturally gets to. No problem. Just go as far as feels comfortable. Okay, so we're just going to imagine a line that's been drawn between the tips of your toes. So you gently stretch the body down towards that line. And then you can release that bend. Imagine the next line has been drawn between the roots of your toes. So gently stretch down towards that line. And release. The third line has been drawn between your insteps of your foot. Gently stretch down towards that line. As you can see, we just get gradually a little bit deeper with each bend. And release. And the final line is drawn between your heels. Just go as deep as you comfortably wish on this last bend. Okay, and then let the body hang for a moment.
We're going to straighten the body up by lifting the tailbone and pointing it up into the blue sky behind us. And then we swing the tailbone to the front of the body and we slowly start to build the spine up one vertebra at a time. And then we try and bring up our arms and our ears as one piece, same way they went down, and then gradually drop to full height. Great, let's do the back bends. Knees and hips go forward, you softly lean back and up, back, stretch up, back and up, back, and stretch up into the blue sky. So the arms and the ears tip over together, not pressed together, just coordinated. Then the upper back starts to bend, then the middle back starts to bend, then the lower back starts to bend, and the body just relaxes down. Sink gently down towards the toes and release, in line with the roots of the toes. And release, in line with the insteps. And release, in line with the heels. Deep bend. The body relaxes and the body hangs. Just gently lift the tailbone up behind. Push the tailbone to the front of the body. Start to roll the spine up. Bring up the head and the arms and the ears. And stretch up, stretch up. Blue sky chi. Knees and hips drift forward. You softly lean back and up, back. Stretch up, back. Stretch up, back. Oh, up into the blue sky. We tip over the arms and the ears. This time, try and keep your legs straight as we go down. So if we lock the knees gently back and we curl the body down, you may not go down as far as you did before because your hamstrings might be tight, but we just keep the legs as straight as we possibly can and just hang down to wherever we naturally get to. And that just allows the back of the legs to open up a bit. On the back of the legs, we have the bladder channel and the gallbladder channel. So it really helps to open up those channels just by keeping the legs straight and bending down. Okay, we make our first little bend down towards the toes and release, in line with the roots of our toes and release, in line with our insteps and release, back towards our heels. Very good, body hangs and relaxes. Lift the tailbone up behind, push the tailbone to the front of the body, roll the spine up, bring up the head and the arms and the ears, and gently stretch up, gently stretch up. Hands up in the blue sky, knees and hips drift forward, you softly lean back and up, back, stretch up, back and up, back, stretch up. Last time, arms beside the ears, tip over the arms and ears, upper back starts to bend, middle back starts to bend, lower back starts to bend. Let the body gently hang down and relax. Back of the neck is soft and relaxed. So working down towards the toes, keeping the legs straight and stretch down toward the toes. Hold for a moment and release. In line with the roots of the toes and just hold for a moment and release. In line with the insteps and just hold and release. And back to the heels. Nice deep bend. Great. And relax and release. Let the body just hang for a moment. Lift the tailbone to point up behind. Push tailbone to the front of the body. Start to roll the spine up. Bring up the head, arms and ears. Gently stretch up, gently stretch up. Knees and hips drift forward. You softly lean back and up, back, stretch up, back and up, back and stretch up. Good. Just let the hands drift down the side of the body, drawing the hands slowly down.
Nice and easy. Let's gather some chi so the hands go deep in the earth, lift chi up, pour chi down. So this is kind of like a full stop at the end of the exercises. Lovely. Do that a couple more times. Lift up, gathering hands in the blue sky, drawing the chi down through your body, drawing down, sinking down. So this is my standard warm-up set that goes with every single exercise class I do. I just think getting the chi moving, and of course we bend our spine forward and backwards, we rotate our spine left and right, and then we do some side bends coming up now. So let's just try the side bends, and I think that is going to keep you young and healthy. So draw the right hand up, breathe in, and then head across to the left hand side. Gentle breath in as we lift the hand up. Exhale as you swap the hands over. Inhale, stretch up, and head across to the right hand side. So see if you can open all the way from your left heel all the way to your left middle finger. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, swap over. Breathe in, stretch up. Heading over to the left. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, swap over. Breathe in, stretch up. Heading across to the right. One more for each side. Breathe in. Exhale and swap. Breathe in. Head left. Breathe in. Swap. Breathe in. Head right. Very good. Lift both hands up into the blue sky. Draw the hands gently down the sides. Very good. So we'll just finish off gathering a few more times. Lift a ball of chi up. Pull the ball of chi down. Lift up and gather. Gently pull. One more time. And pull. Draw the chi from the center of your head, through the center of your chest, all the way to the center of your belly. Let the hands relax and the chi just flows in your legs. So for the last time, we're going to draw our hands to the belly. So we lift up, gather the ball up above, pour down, let the chi flow down through the body. And then we're going to bring the hands to settle into the belly. We're going to create a chi field. This is one of Dr. Pang's great innovations in Qigong. It has been proven in quantum physics and by other people experimenting with the field, Lynn McTaggart for one. This idea that we can build a healing chi field around us that connects us as a class. So Dr. Pang's favorite way of doing that is to sing the 8 phrases, and I'm going to do that for you, and then I'll translate them for you. So just hold lower dantian. Stay in a relaxed state with the knees gently bent, the tailbone sinking down to the ground, top of the head gently pushes up. So the 8 phrases sound a little bit like this. Ting tian li di, xin song yi chang, wai ji le ji, xin cheng ma go. Yu nian bo qi, shen zhu tai kong, shen yi jiao ti, jiu shen rong rong, jiu shen rong rong, jiu shen rong rong. The essence of the chi field is to feel that we're deeply connected together. We're deeply connected together as a class. Our class is deeply connected with all of the other classes taking place now around the world. There's this idea in chi theory, but also that follows all through Western science, quantum science, that time and space are just a construct of the left logical side of our brain. But the reality is that we can connect across time and space. So when we connect as a class, you and I, through Zoom, it doesn't matter that we're not in the same space together. We can connect just as cleanly across time and space as if we were in the same room together. The implication being is that we can connect to all the other classes across the globe. But if time and space really are just a construct of our brains, there's nothing to stop us connecting with all the people who have ever connected into the chi field across time and space, all the people who will ever connect. Millions upon millions upon millions of people who have all brought themselves to this chi space. So the instant power of the idea of us connecting together with this vast chi family is already extraordinarily powerful. If we delve into ideas of quantum science, if we delve into Dr. Pang's Hunyuan entirety theory, we get the idea that we think our universe is contained within a bubble, like blowing up a balloon. All of the air that goes inside the balloon is our universe. And the balloon itself is this kind of barrier that contains our vast universe. So the idea behind that is that this barrier contains our vast universe, is a barrier of what we call information. Okay, so information is what informs our universe, but it's also what informs our bodies, what informs our life, what informs the vastness of everything. So in some cultures, they talk about the Akashic record. The idea of the Akashic record is that it's a vast recording of all that has ever been and all that ever will be. It's the information layer of the entirety of the universe. So we have this picture of the outside of our universe containing all the information of everything that ever was, everything that ever will be. Interesting idea. It gives an idea to inspiration, moments where something pops into your head. You think, I know, I understand. It's always in moments of meditation where inspiration arrives. It's always in those still moments that these beautiful thoughts arrive. But also we hear about people who talk about channeling and that they can connect with ideas across the globe and bring information back. Well, yes, I think that's probably true. Sometimes we talk about people who can, still visualize their parents who have passed on, like having conversations with their parents. And of course, there's things like mediumship and so forth, channeling. Why not? If all the information that has ever been and all the information that ever will be is contained in this information layer of the universe, perhaps people can train themselves to connect to that information. So imagine all the information that's in our particular field that we're creating. Dr. Pang has set up this idea of the 𝐸𝐴𝐸 Qigong information field. All of the 𝐸𝐴𝐸 Qigong practitioners coming to this field, bringing their good information. So this is like a subset of the vastness of it all. It's our own little private broadband, our own private, like an FM radio, our own private broadcast that we can connect to. All of this good information collected by Dr. Pang, connected by all the teachers, by all the students who bring this information. So in its broadest sense, if you have something that's not working in your body, let's just say something very obvious like sore knees, then there are millions upon millions of people who have great knees, who have brought this good knee information to the field for you to connect with, to allow your knees to heal, to allow your knees just to feel how it is to be good knees. So we can connect our minds out into the chi field, and we can bring back the information that our body needs. Sometimes that information is just too complex to really understand. If you've been given some complex diagnosis, sometimes it's just too much. You can't even imagine how it's possible to fix it. But the point is, just because you can't imagine it doesn't mean that the chi field doesn't know what you need. This chi mind is much bigger than yours. So just by being in the chi field as we are now, just by connecting into this idea as we do with Dr. Pang's 8 phrases, the information is already flowing to you. Invite this healing information into your body now. Allow your body to feel that it can connect into the chi field. Allow your body to feel that it can gather good healing information into our DNA, into our cells, into our blood cells, into our immune system, into our nervous system, into our endocrine system, into our bones, into our muscles, into every cell in the entire body. We can bring this good information back from out there in the universe and draw it back into the body. So Dr. Pang's 8 phrases, first line say, connect yourself to the earth, connect yourself to the heavens, connect yourself beyond that out into the universe, let your body relax, let your mind go quiet. These are all preconditions to getting ourselves really into a nice, relaxed state. So perhaps you might need to sit down to be in this nice, relaxed state. In Qigong, we do our meditation standing up most of the time. because it builds up a great strength inside the body. As we stand here with our knees gently bent, our tailbone softly tucked forward, we're allowing qi to flow into our body very easily from the earth below through the soles of the feet, and it rolls up the legs, comes to between the legs and comes up to our belly. We stand here in this very soft and easy, open way, perhaps with the hands on the belly, or perhaps holding a little ball of qi in front of your tummy, perhaps just letting your hands hang down by the sides. But what happens there is that the body opens up, the spine opens up, almost like an antenna, and allows you to attract qi in through the top of the head, flowing down through the body to the belly. Your arms can gather qi as well. But then your skin can open up and start to gather qi. It's like your whole body can breathe with the universe. Every breath in, every breath out, your body gently opens and closes. As it does so, qi moves out of your body, qi gathers into your body. With this idea of good information, we can connect across the universe. We can draw this healing information back into our bodies. So qi theory states that we can move qi from being into non-being, and we can bring qi from non-being back into being. So on the most simplest of levels, if you have something in your body you no longer want, like a lump of some sort, you can just open out and let that dissolve back into the qi field. If perhaps you've had something removed by a surgeon, you can bring qi back into the body to rebuild whatever it was in a kind of qi way. If you think that everything's made out of qi, then if a surgeon's taken a physical organ away, that was qi anyway, so you can put it back in working perfect order. So here's this very simple idea that what needs to be put into our body can be put into our body, including gathering huge amounts of energy into our body that we might need. So if we feel low energy, we can just imagine all of this healthy qi flowing into our bodies. If we feel hyper and too busy, or if we have something physical in the body that needs to be got rid of, we can just allow that to dissolve and go out back into the qi field. I often think about qi. People like to talk in other forms of qigong. They like to talk about bad qi and good qi. I don't think there's anything such thing as bad qi. I don't believe that. I think it's just qi that's not currently appropriate for your body. So we don't think of nasty qi, it has to be put away, chucked away. We just think about letting go of something that's not working for you at the moment, letting it gently release that back into the qi field. I think of something like recycling. Whatever is qi that you might need might be something that somebody else or something else needs. We have this lovely symbiosis with plants, don't we? Where, plants give off oxygen and we give off CO2, and they need CO2 and we need oxygen. Lovely. We have this lovely sort of thing between the two of us, and perhaps plants need some of the qi that we don't need, so we can sort of let go of this qi, willingly release it out into the universe, knowing that something needs that qi and that we may not need it right now. We can bring back qi that's more appropriate for us. So Dr. Pang talks about keeping your mind quiet to allow these processes to happen. About finding our way to some deep stillness. So perhaps you can find a relaxed standing posture. Perhaps you might want to sit. No problem. Up to you. Whatever works for you. Just try and keep yourself in a steady posture. Something you can sustain without too much bother, without too much thinking about it. So we try and find this quiet moment. Gently brush aside any thoughts that arrive in your brain. Almost like cleaning a car windscreen, windshield. You could imagine this gentle wiper that moves across your inner vision and moves an idea gently to one side. You find that you drift off and suddenly you're thinking about some shopping you have to do. Gently drift and push it to one side. It's not a problem. These thoughts often come up. The more we practice, the easier it becomes to keep these steady moments. So to begin with, you might find you can hold this silence. 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Sweep an idea away. 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Sweep another idea away. Slowly, the vision becomes clear. Slowly, the stories quieten down. The stories are generated by our subconscious brain. So now we're getting to the very root of the brain to make it as quiet as we possibly can. We're not avoiding problems. We're just gently setting problems aside for a little while. This can be your space, dedicated to you. As soon as your mind goes quietly offline, that's when the healing process starts in your body. The cells of our body only have two ways to function. One is cleaning and healing. The other one is doing its daily work, going full speed. When we stop and move into this space, we can trip ourselves over into this healing mode, cleaning mode. So we soften and relax the body, soften and quieten the mind. This is where the body starts its healing. Your body is open and connected with the vastness of the universe. Feel your body dissolve out into the chi field. When you think about your arms or your face, can you feel where they exactly end and where the chi field begins? It becomes difficult to feel the definition between the outside and the inside. The reality is that there is no difference between the outside and the inside. Your whole body is made of chi, chi swimming in a chi field, in a beautiful pool of chi. So we can no longer really identify where we finish and the outside world begins. We become one in the chi field, dissolved into the chi field, releasing what is no longer required out into the chi field. What about the emotions in your body? Emotions fire off in your brain electromagnetical. They create a chemical cascade in the body. The chemicals build up inside. We can let go of those ideas too. The things that make you angry. Perhaps the people that make you angry. Perhaps the situation that makes you angry. Can you let that dissolve into the chi field for a little while? How would it be if you no longer felt that anger? Just for a moment, let it go. Sadness, sorrow, guilt, grief, shame. These are all emotions of the lungs. We carry a lot of them. How would it be if we let go of our sadness? Sometimes we carry the sadness of a person that we've lost, and we carry it with us all of our lives because we feel it's our duty to feel sad about the loss of that person. If only we knew how sad that makes the person who's moved on. They don't want us to be carrying this huge weight anymore. They don't need us to be carrying this weight. Out of duty, you feel that you have to hold some sadness for these people who have gone. Time for you to realize that burden is not required. You don't have to feel your sadness. You don't have to feel your sorrow. Guilt is something that we pin onto our chest as a medal of, I feel so guilty about, it's time we let guilt go. You're only doing the best you can with the resources that you have. How about letting go of your guilt? How would it be if you just let go of your guilt just for a few minutes? Let go of your sadness and sorrow just for a few minutes. Let's just imagine taking that backpack that holds grief, guilt, shame, sadness, and sorrow, slipping it off your shoulders and putting it down on the floor beside you. Just feeling how light you feel when you put all of that weight down. In Chinese medicine, the heart is connected to anxiety. I feel so anxious about everything. I feel so anxious about the modern world, about the war, about my children. I feel so anxious. Perhaps we could just put that down for a moment as well. Goodness, that anxiety can carry a huge weight. Imagine taking something from your chest. Perhaps it could be like a millstone that's hung round your neck that covers your heart up. Perhaps it's a big stone that's embedded in your chest. Whatever it is, take your badge of anxiety and lift it off and put it down on the table beside you. Let your anxiety go for a little while. The world is just doing the world. You are just doing you. We all play out this beautiful game, but there's nothing that you can really control about this game. The only thing you can control about this game is you. So feeling anxious about all the other players in the game is a bit pointless. Perhaps you could just put down your anxiety for a little while, leave it behind, let it go. When we think about the spleen and pancreas in Chinese medicine, we think about worry, and that's kind of the root of stress. So worry and stress. But also, there's another aspect to it, which is thinking too much, using your brain too much, overthinking it's called. So do you have a tendency to overthink? Do you have a tendency to worry? Let's let that go for a minute. Let's stop analyzing everything. Perhaps we can stop studying so much, if that's one of your stories. Meditation is a great way to calm down that aspect of your mind. If you're someone who's always in a book, always reading, always consuming information, and then when you put your book down, you're instantly plugged into a podcast to listen to more information, you're a consumer of knowledge. We really rate ourselves in our modern world on how much knowledge we contain. But actually, we're trying to let that go now. Let that dissolve into the background. Let your poor, busy mind have a little bit of silence, for heaven's sakes. Take that aspect of you and fade it away into the background. And lastly, fear. Be brave. Be the warrior that you know is inside you. Be warned, the older we get, the lower our kidney function becomes. Tiny little degrees just gets a little bit lower, but the slightest drop in the kidney function can make you a scared old person. Bless my beautiful mother. Her first words always used to be, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't think it's a good idea. No. And then we'd gently talk the thing through and she'd say, okay, yes. But her first reaction was always out of this deep fear of moving, of changing, of anything in her life shifting that she wasn't ready to move. All of the flexibility of mind had gone, and that was down to fear. Are you a fearful person? Are you limiting your life through your fear? Then let's just let that aspect fade into the background for a little while. Let's feel our inner warrior becoming stronger. Well, Qigong will do that for you. Qigong will help you build up the physicality of your body. Qigong will help you. Here's a very simple example. We're just standing doing meditation. You know, if you're sitting, that's fine, it's no problem. But it's good to kind of build up over time to slowly standing. Because the more you stand, the stronger your legs become. And I see old people in China who can stand on one leg for 5 minutes without wobbling because they've just been standing doing Qigong all of their lives. They've become these incredibly strong old people. But it's not just their bodies that are strong. It makes their minds strong. It makes their determination strong. It makes their belief in themselves strong. And then you don't act out of fear. You think, yes, I can do that. Sure, let's give it a go. So we let all these emotions calm into the background, dissolve into the chi field. We've taken off our backpack of sorrow. We've taken off our millstone of anxiety. We've pushed into the background all of our worries. We've pushed into the background all of our fear. And we've poured a bucket of water over our anger to cool it down, to stop the flames. And then what's left? Just you in this beautiful soft space. So now we've dissolved our body out into the chi field. Now we've softened our emotions out into the chi field. Allow your body to open. We say Kai, K-A-I. Kai opens the cells, opens your body, opens the physicality. Kai lets go of the emotions at the deepest level. Kai opens you out into the chi field. So in this vast, open and dissolved way, we can then start to gather healing chi back into the body. Well, you might know exactly where you want your healing chi to go, so you could focus it back in there. But if you don't, you could just imagine pouring healing chi into your body and just letting the chi intelligence of your body work. So we use the Chinese word he, and he means close, but actually it also means gather, draw in. I mean, there's so many kind of ideas behind these Chinese words. So when we say open, we think of dissolve, let go. And when we say he, we think about bring back, heal, gather, draw in. So from the outside world, imagine drawing chi back into your body by saying he. Chi goes deep inside, fills the entirety of your body. Let's relax, let go, open up with Kai. Gather back the resources of the universe to heal your body with her. Eyes open, dissolve, let go. The whole of the body absorbs this healing chi deep inside. The whole of the body absorbs healing chi deep inside. Gently bring your attention to your mind, upper dantian, the upper energy field. It sits deep in the core of your mind. If you know your biology, it's around about the level of the pineal gland, deep in the very center. If you go in through the third eye, you arrive at this space. If you go in through the temples, you arrive at this space. Right in the very core of your brain. Just imagine a little light glowing, the beginning of a beautiful field of energy building inside. Slowly, as this light gets stronger, it starts to expand and fill the whole of your brain. Illuminate your brain from the inside, from the core. Imagine now that you can expand this brain out, out, across the whole of our planet, expand it out into our solar system. Expand your brain out into the Milky Way and beyond, into our galaxy. Expand out into the vastness of the universe. Imagine you are the vastness of the universe. How powerful is your brain that it can come from deep inside your head and expand itself across the entirety of the universe? You are truly an extraordinary being. You are truly part of consciousness, the consciousness of the universe. Let's imagine drawing ourselves back from the vastness of the universe. Let's bring back healing information from the vastness of the universe, drawing it back into our galaxy, drawing it back into our solar system, eventually finding our way back to our beautiful blue planet, eventually finding our way back to our country, finding our way back to our workplace, to our own personal chi field, a big bubble around us, and then eventually drawing this chi back deep inside the center of the brain, bringing back this healing information. You don't have to know what your body needs. Just know that you bring back from the vast totality of the universe all of the healing information for your life, all of the healing information for your body, and you distill it deep into the center of your brain. Relax the center of your brain. Relax the whole of your brain. Relax your head. Perhaps you can feel this idea of a cloud of mist rolling in through your brain. Perhaps from the frontal lobe, it gently moves its way all the way to the back of your brain, and then penetrates deep inside. Just imagine your brain becoming very quiet, very still. Deep inside, very quiet and very still. From time to time, you may need to allow this wave of cooling chi move through your brain all the way to your brain stem, just to re-anesthetize your brain. Let's just stand here for a few minutes in silence. you can try to purify this experience by using the tone shu, X-U-E in Chinese. Sounds like shu. Take a gentle breath in. Shu. Shu. When we feel this pure, clear mind, try to recall how this feels later on today. Try to make a little note somewhere, just to sit for 5 minutes. See if you can recall how this state felt. Try and see how easily you can bring yourself back into this pure chi state. So 𝐸𝐴𝐲, he sometimes says, put yourself in a chi state very abruptly. And this is what he means. Bring yourself back into this feeling, to this place, to this quiet state. The more you try it, the better you get. The more you can use this tool in daily life. When you get into the car to drive, you can bring yourself to a quiet state no anxiety, no anger. When you're walking in nature, you can bring yourself back to this quiet state. No worry, no anxiety. You can quell your state of fear by bringing yourself back into this chi state. So when you're faced with a decision, stop for a moment, bring yourself back to the chi state, and then work from inside to answer the question, to make a decision, not from reflex fear of the mind. So let's just gather our hands back onto the belly if they're not already there. We can just hold lower dantian for a moment. We can draw ourselves from our mind deep down inside our bellies and just feel the entirety of our body. Lower dantian qi is abundant. Blood and qi flow well through the body. All functions of the body returning to perfect working order. This has been a very deep healing experience for your body. Everything is starting to shift and change. You have the key to making that happen again and again and again by finding this state and imagining yourself in the wider Zheneng Qigong Qi field. You're never alone. You always have the Qi family with you. You always have this good information around you. So to bring ourselves back into this present moment, we should just circle 3 times around the belly. Draw 3 circles around your belly. I tend to go anti-clockwise, but it doesn't really matter. We draw our 3 circles round, and then we head back in the opposite direction. 3 circles the other way. The other 3 circles, this last 3, are about bringing ourselves back into the body, about feeling the physicality of the body. Feel your way back into your legs, feel your way back into your knees, your hips, feel your way back into your shoulders. We just kind of slowly bring ourselves back into our body again. But don't lose this chi sensation. Behind your hands, imagine this great ball of chi deep in your belly. Take this ball of chi and bring it up your spine into your brain. Illuminate the whole of your head, your sensory organs. Illuminate your neck and your thyroid. Illuminate your shoulders all the way to your elbows, down to your wrists, to your fingertips. Illuminate the whole of your spine, the upper part of the spine with the ribs, like a big chi hug around your organs, inside your lungs and your heart, spleen, pancreas, liver, kidneys at the back, all of the internal organs going down to the sexual organs and excretory organs, into your hips, into your pelvis, into your tailbone, the whole of the spine illuminated with chi, and then through the hip joints into the thighs illuminated with chi, into your knees, into your calves, into your ankles illuminated with chi, into the Achilles, into your feet. And then we think about the skin of the body, underneath the soles of the feet, up the back of the body, over the top of the head, and down the front and sides, this beautiful skin envelope that contains your body. Imagine your skin glowing, perfect working skin, really beautiful skin. And then underneath the soles of the feet, we think about the energy layer. It's 6 to 10 centimeters, the Wei Qi layer, this beautiful big layer of Qi under the feet, up the back of the body, over the top of the head, down the front of the body, and down the sides of the body. This beautiful envelope of Qi that protects us, this energy field around us, keeping away any energy that we don't need. But of course, it allows us to absorb all the Qi we do need. And then finally, a meter below, a meter behind, a meter above, a meter in front, a meter to the left and right. There's this big bubble of Qi, which is your Qi body. Just imagine you, this beautiful being of light, every cell in your body working well. You are healthy. Your body is healthy. Your mind healthy. Your emotions healthy. Everything turning back to perfect working order. All functions of your body, perfect working order. And you, a being of light inside your shield of chi, totally safe, totally healthy, totally happy. Bring your feet together. Slowly open your eyes. Bring a bit of movement into your body. We can stretch out a bit. We can move however we wish to move.
If you want to bend, just be very careful with that, because when you bend down, you can make yourself feel very dizzy when you come back up. So you come up really slowly if you decide to do a bend. We just bring the body back into any kind of movement that it feels that it might need. That also helps us come back into this, to ground ourselves back into this present moment rather than feeling a bit kind of lost in space. Okay, so we finish off just by saying howla. But if you unmute yourself, you're startlingly going to suddenly appear on YouTube. So just don't do that. I'll know you're saying howla along with me. We raise our hands up in the air. 1, 2, howla. 1, 2, howla. 1, 2, howla. Very good. Okay, and then we have a little final salute for each other. You bring the right hand up, left hand down. We pull the fingertips together, sort of like a yin and yang symbol. Thumbs go on the end. This is Dr. Pang's version of the 𝐸𝐤𝐥𝐿𝐴 salute. Thank you very much for being here. Just to make sense of that, you'll often see that Taoists have this kind of posture where they put one hand on top of the other, and Buddhists have this very familiar prayer position. So in 𝐸𝐤𝐥𝐿𝐴, we do Dr. Pang's salute to differentiate. Really nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Have a lovely, lovely day. This will go onto YouTube and you could spread it amongst your friends when eventually I post it in our group. Otherwise, nice to see you. Bye-bye.